Welcome to the Dance Studio Empire podcast, a mix of business strategies, simple tips for studio growth and success, with a touch of inspiration, motivation, plus raw and honest conversations to ensure you are building your studio empire. I'm your host, Jen Dalton, studio owner for 30 years, dance business coach, and the author of the book, Teaching Dance Beyond the Steps. My business philosophy is creativity is our superpower, and I believe we all have the means and ability to infiltrate this into our studio. Just sometimes we can get too busy, distracted, or overwhelmed to see that. So that is exactly why I am here to help you. So if you are ready to master the art of creating demand, unravel the dance of numbers in your studio, and run your business to its full potential, then you are in the right place. Okay, let's do this. Sit back and relax, and let's get ready to build your dance studio empire. Hello, beautiful studio owner. Now, imagine it this way. If your studio is in demand, you're not just an option, you're the top option. Now, this episode is all about crafting an invite that's irresistible, making sure that your community is not just hearing about your classes, but they are itching to join in. Welcome back to another episode of the Dance Studio Empire. I am your host, Jen Dalton, and I am genuinely so happy that you are here with me today. In the last episode, we got down to business and discussed the pivotal role of demand in your studio's success. And today, I'm just going to keep the momentum going by talking about how to get people excited to try a class. For me, I am really confident that if I get the right family into my studio, then they're going to sign up. I'm really confident that my teachers will run the class, and the new person, the new dancer, will feel so welcome and feel so at ease that they will sign up. So I'm asking you, do you have that confidence? I know this confidence, I am this confident because we strategically market to potential families who will be happy at our studio because they know what we offer. They know exactly who we are. They know what we stand for. They know what our classes are like. And so for anyone who is coming to my studio, that is what they're expecting, and that is what they get. Plus, of course, there's the training, there's the teacher training, there's the class, the management side of that, which is absolutely done as well. But it's that first impression from those people who are coming to the studio, they are getting what they are expecting. And so that makes them happy. Basically, we essentially pre-qualify all inquiries before they step foot through our studio doors. And then even if they do slip past our marketing and they reach out for more information, I can generally tell from just the questions that they ask or the language that they're using whether we are right for them or not. And if it's determined that we aren't, I'm really happy just to redirect them to another local studio that will suit them better. And honestly, we are not short of studios in our area. So there is something suitable for every type of dancer. And I am more than happy just to hand them on to someone else, because I'm not going to be able to keep them happy because I'm not giving them what they want, but someone else can. So expanding on what I talked about in the last episode, being how and why it's super important to attract the right person or the right family, the right dancer to your studio, I'm going to just dig a little deeper into understanding what exactly they want. So I'll talk about the psychology of making them excited and what factors make them think, yep, I want to come and try out this studio. Now, in the last episode, I talked to you about the 4 things that you need to do to be in demand and to get your studio empire thriving. And whether you're starting out or you're ready to take your studio to the next level, it's these 4 things that become your base thoughts to every action, decision, and strategy that you do within your studio. And these are the 4 things that I did 30 years ago, and it's still the 4 things that I do now 30 years later. And so, you can take it as you want, but it's when you're at a place maybe where you're feeling overwhelmed or you've got so much to do that you don't know where to start, generally, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but in those times when I have so much to do, not sure where to start, I end up actually getting nothing done. And so maybe you can relate, maybe not. But what I do in those times, I come back to a process. I come back to the process, which is these 4 simple things. And you know what? I just go through them, and then it just helps me to keep moving forward. And then once that momentum starts, I'm back on track. So, I'm sharing this with you too. So you can use this process as well. Going back, the first thing that you need to do is attracting the right family. And then once you have done that, you now need to show them exactly why they need to come and try your classes. You want to entice them to come, because if you're not already, you will be soon very confident, just like I am, that once they are through your doors, they will want to enroll. You want to make it the easiest, most possible yes for your potential families. Make it a no-brainer for them to book in for a class. Now, by doing this, you just don't want to scare them off with too much information. So be welcoming and genuinely excited to meet them. You need to obviously give them some information, but don't go in depth too much, because it will just actually overwhelm them. Go back to yourself. If you are trying something new, or you have your own children, they're trying something new, if they're throwing too much information at you at one time, it almost like the confusion of it, or the overwhelm of having to try and work it out, will sometimes seem easier. Just say, you know what? No, thanks. We might try it again in 6 months. Or, we're all so busy. Our time and energy is taken. So think of that as your new parent coming in. So don't overwhelm them with too much at the beginning. All right, how are you going to make this invitation enticing? I want you to start by thinking about your perfect family. So thinking about the right person who's going to be walking through your door. Now think about what those families would appreciate or benefit from. This is going to have to do with the area you live in, the type of studio you are, what you offer, what the expectations are. If you're promising, elite winning competitions, then what are your families going to benefit from? Because it's going to be different to the recreation studio. So for us, our families really appreciate being able to come in for a free trial class before they enroll for the year. And now, don't get on me with the whole free trial thing. I know it works for some, and I know others choose not to do it. There honestly is no right or wrong. I don't think there's a better way or not a better way. I think it's a matter for yourself. For us, we have forever offered a free trial, and it works for us. And honestly, because it's working, I just wouldn't change it. But then I totally, on the flip side of that, understand and appreciate studios that have the paid trial sessions, and then maybe they take it off their fees, or it becomes their registration fee. However it works for you, absolutely fine. No judging. I'm just saying, for us, that's what our families do appreciate. They also love and appreciate anything for free or a bonus. I mean, really, who doesn't? So, but for example, like last year, during our VIP enrollment period, anyone who registered, they got a free t-shirt. Can I just tell you, the numbers of our retention in that period was up like 98%. Like, it was huge. And they just got so excited about this t-shirt. It was excellent. And now they all wear it at class, and they look immaculate because they're all the same. Sorry, I digress. And then in May, we did a promo. And so it was another intake time where we were looking at building up some of our younger classes again. And so we did a promo. So it was no registration fee, plus they got a free t-shirt. And again, we just registered so many people coming in because of that. So think about something like that. Maybe it could be bring a friend for free, or a sibling discount. I often find a ticket to a workshop that you might be running in the holidays, even like an invitation to an audition. Like if you've got an elite team, you might just give them, again, it's just something almost tangible that they're receiving for coming to your studio. But what it is isn't important, because that's just going to depend on what's perfect for your families, okay? Now, ensure that you highlight what makes you different from other studios in the area. This is getting harder and harder. I do appreciate this. But try and find a point of difference, something that you can highlight that makes you stand out from someone else. You're offering something that's a little bit different to someone else. And this is where our creative thinking has to come in. Like I just said, it's getting harder and harder, but I have faith. Remember, creativity is our superpower. But you do this through your marketing, or even when you're chatting to them on the phone, let them know, oh, we've just introduced this new amazing program, or we now offer this opportunity. So talk about those things that make you a little bit different. Let them know the different offers that you have, so the programs that you run, and get them excited about their decision to come and try them. So I want you to try and put it back on them about how excited it is for them, exciting for them to come and experience it. It takes a little bit of time sometimes, the practice of having those conversations, but it does get to a point where it flows a lot better, but it's definitely worth working on. Now, the goal is to earn their trust. They are about to entrust you with their most precious asset, okay, their child, and potentially commit a substantial financial and time commitment with you. So put their mind at ease by answering any concerns or worries that they might have, and just leave them feeling that there's no obligation. So if they come and try a class and their child doesn't love it, be genuinely okay with that. Don't make them feel guilty or, leave a bad taste in their mouth. It's okay. And I will often say, if people aren't happy, well, they've come and it's not what they expected, it's like, that's no problem at all. Maybe there's a lot of other options out there. Maybe you'll find something. If not, I just say, we'll be here forever, so you're welcome back anytime. Just leave it like that. Parents just love to know that there's no obligation attached to an offer. And I mean, again, put yourself in those shoes. If you're trying something for the first time, it'd be nice just to be able to give it a try, and then if you didn't like it, you could walk away happy. So that's how I see it in my own studio, and it's always worked. A good way to do this is by considering what the journey will look like for them once they make their initial inquiry. Okay, so think about how you can answer their questions. And maybe that's through an email, automated series. Maybe you do up a video and send it to them. Even just an old-fashioned phone call, that's something that we don't do as much anymore. So things like that can often trigger someone to think, oh, wow, that's taken effort for them to make that call. I like this, so it's sort of just leaving that little bit more taste of connection, trust in you as a studio owner. So doing those little things are going to make a difference. Also, the last thing I'll add is to give them a quick reminder about their trial or the first class if they're not doing a trial, just so they don't miss it. Because honestly, if the parent is anything like me, they may just genuinely have forgotten with everything else going on in their life. So remember the goal. We're attracting the right people. And once you've attracted them, you want to entice them to come. Because once they're in, you'll impress the pants off them and they will be asking how to sign up right away. And then that brings us to the third thing that you need to do to get your studio empire thriving. And in the next episode, I'm going to talk more in depth about the most efficient ways to ensure they enroll straight away. All right, until then, take this week to consider different ways to entice your right families to come and try a class at your studio. Also, consider that journey from the initial contact to the first time they walk through the doors. What does that look like for them? And the best way to do that is just to put yourself in their shoes. But preferably try it with a different activity. So not dance, because we know the dance world so well. You no doubt have grown up in it and you're now living it, as a career. But I always just will refer back to the swimming club that my daughter had been a part of for several years. When I first walked into the swimming world, I just had no idea about competition swimming world, and there's so many competitions, different levels and stuff. Anyway, the feelings, the questions, the concerns that I experienced when I first walked in was how I liken it to someone who hasn't ever been in the dance world, is coming into a studio for the first time. And I can tell you, I learned a lot from her swimming clubs, a lot in a positive way too. Like, well, that's a really streamlined way to do that. And even their payment process and their registration process was really smooth, and it was excellent because it opened my eyes to what we do. And then I'm like, you know what, we could really smooth this process even better for our families. This experience could be even smoother for them. And so I tweaked what we were doing as well, just off the back of learning how they did it. Because we get stuck in our ways. We know what we've been doing, what we're doing for so long. We sometimes get tunnel vision and blinkers. And so until we experience other things or other activities or other processes, we don't realize that sometimes there are better ways. Anyway, hopefully this is what I'm giving you the opportunity to hear about, think about. I want to challenge your thinking, how you're doing things, because maybe there's a better way to smooth out the process. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have a really great week, and I'll see you for the next episode. And that's a wrap for this week's episode. I'm so grateful to have you listen each week. If you found today's episode valuable, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could take a moment to rate, 5 stars of course, and leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback empowers me to keep delivering insightful content. To ensure you never miss an episode, hit that subscribe button and be sure to follow me on Instagram @_JenDalton_ and join our private Facebook group, Dance Studio Empire. Until next time, keep dancing, keep thriving, and keep building your dance studio empire.